You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
A doomed strategy. Ivy League economist exposes Trump's gaslighting, based on an article by Matthew Rosser. Trump didn't just inherit higher prices, he helped make them. Donald Trump is trying to talk his way out of a problem he helped create. The source is plain enough. Economists on the record say prices are rising faster than wages. Gas prices jumped after his military action in Iran, and even a former Republican admits the party is chained to him. The White House answer is not policy. It is denial, spin, and a familiar attempt to make people doubt what they see at the pump and in the grocery aisle. Power has a name. The relevant actor here is not the economy in the abstract. It is the president. Trump controls the military decisions, the messaging machine, and the administration that keeps insisting the damage is not what it looks like. That matters because the article keeps circling around the same point without fully nailing it down. This is not accidental hardship. When the president chooses to escalate in Iran and then tries to narrate away the price effects, he is not managing a problem. He is imposing one, and then lying about its source. A war that shows up in the receipt, Molly John Fast gets to the core of it more directly than the White House ever will. There is a line from Trump's Iran action to higher gas prices. That is not a rhetorical flourish. It is how state power works in an energy-dependent economy. The administration's favorite dodge is to talk about energy dominance and domestic production as if that phrase can erase the market response to war risk, tanker insurance, disrupted supply, and uncertainty. It cannot. The source quotes economists saying the damage is not just immediate. Even if the shooting pauses, the risk premium remains. That is the consequence of reckless executive power. Not just the blast, but the lingering tax on everybody who has to buy fuel, ship goods, or keep a business running. Gaslighting is not a strategy. Trump's denial is supposed to perform two jobs at once. First, it tries to detach him from the consequences. Second, it tells voters not to believe their own monthly expenses. That is why economic lies are different from his other lies. The article notes that some of his deceptions were because they target remote facts, like the 2020 election or grotesque migrant rumor-mongering. But prices are not remote. People live inside them. They feel them at the gas station, at the supermarket, in rent pressure, in wage stagnation. Negative wage growth is economist language for a simple political reality. Workers are getting squeezed while the president insists the squeeze is imaginary. This is not confusion. It is deliberate misdirection. The Republican Party chooses the ship. Joe Walsh is right about one thing. The party is going down with Trump because it has chosen to tether itself to him. That is not loyalty. It is institutional cowardice. But don't mistake a former Republican's confession for a solution. The fact that a Republican can see the wreck does not mean the GOP has any plan to stop steering into it. The party has spent years normalizing Trump's method, deny the obvious, blame opponents, and ask voters to ignore the evidence in front of them. On the economy, that script is finally colliding with reality. What the article misses, the framing is still too gentle in one respect. It treats Trump's economic denial like a communications problem that might or might not hurt him in the midterms, that undersells the political damage he is doing and the moral ugliness of it. A president who helps trigger higher prices through military escalation and then tells voters not to notice is not merely out of touch. He is using state power to create pain and then laundering responsibility through propaganda. The administration's response, including the White House spokeswoman's rehearsed line about energy dominance, is not policy analysis. It is cover. The pattern beneath the story. This is the larger pattern. Authoritarian politics depends on making the public pay for elite decisions while denying the public any honest explanation. The violence can be military, economic, or bureaucratic. The method is the same. Create the harm, control the narrative, and flood the zone with enough jargon and tribal loyalty to keep accountability from attaching to the people actually in charge. Trump's problem is not that Americans are irrational about prices. It is that prices expose him. And once a president has turned everyday life into evidence against his own rule, the only real question is how much more damage the system will tolerate before it stops pretending this is normal. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternate for today's article with the automated voice of LJ. Thanks for listening.